into a radically different Lent, into a full life. It's an invitation to be authentically who you are, to counter scarcity and injustice at every turn, to pour out even more grace wherever it is needed. It disrupts the scarcity mentality that capitalism and oppression and hierarchy can plant inside of us. When we allow ourselves to be filled to the brim with God's lavish love, that love spills over. It reaches beyond ourselves like water. It rushes and flows, touching everything in its path. My friends, after the last couple of years, I submit to you that this is exactly what we need. To be reminded of God's extravagant, lavish love flowing over us. And we begin with today's text that tells us about Jesus' 40 days in the wilderness, which maybe doesn't sound so much like lavish love, but hang in there. Jesus is led into the desert directly by the Holy Spirit right after his baptism. And as he begins his ministry, this is how he starts. He goes out into the desert alone, by himself. Except, like all of us, Jesus is never alone. God's presence is there with him, even in the desert. And he's tempted by the devil. Now, as a teenager, the kind of Christian faith I had took the idea of the devil very literally. Very literally. I was taught that the devil existed as a being and that he, it was always he, was trying to lead Christians to do things they shouldn't do. In my case, listen to secular music, or read secular books, or God forbid, think about sex. That's what we were being tempted to do. As I grew up and became a little more progressive, shall we say, or nuanced in my faith, I began to downplay the idea of a literal devil. But you know, it is abundantly clear to me that evil exists in the world, and that it often takes the form of the kind of temptations that Jesus dealt with in the desert. The first one's pretty straightforward, right? Jesus has been fasting for 40 days, so the devil offers him food. April says that as a kid, she was always sad for Jesus because he didn't even have a bologna and cheese sandwich with mustard to eat while he was in the desert. The devil doesn't offer a bologna and cheese sandwich, though. He offers food. He's goading Jesus, trying to get him to show off, to prove that he's God's own child by turning stones into bread. And despite 40 days of fasting and what had to be some extreme hunger, Jesus doesn't give the devil the satisfaction of giving in, of showing off. He stays focused on God and on his ministry that began with his baptism, and he quotes scripture. We don't live on bread alone. And he stays connected to himself, to God, to his power. It's so easy, though, to give in to the world, to the desire to show the world how great we are, what we can accomplish. Could Jesus have turned those stones into bread? Absolutely. We know his first miracle was turning water into wine at the wedding of Cana, right? So he could have done it. And he certainly could have done it to prove his power to the devil. But he knows what we all eventually learn. Life is not about proving ourselves to some force outside of us. It's about following our own God-given purpose that resides deep within us. The second temptation, that one sounds even more appealing. The devil offers Jesus all the power and glory in the world if Jesus will just pay homage to the devil. What could that hurt, really? And who wouldn't want to have power and glory? Isn't that human nature? I don't know about you, but I can tell you for sure that for me, the times in my life when I am most unhappy, most disconnected from God, are the times when I have lost sight of what really matters and have tried instead to prove my worth to other people. Brene Brown calls this hustling for approval. Yeah. It's something we're all tempted to do, whether by showing our power through our intellect, our possessions, our wealth, or some other measure of success. We may convince ourselves that we deserve everything we have, that we have succeeded in the world through our own efforts, that we are wielding our power in the right way. But Jesus shows us something completely countercultural here. In the desert, he declines to reach for power and glory. He continues this way throughout his whole ministry on earth. We know that Jesus is God's son. We know that Jesus is a divine being. And yet never does he claim that during his ministry on earth. Never does he claim power over. He doesn't become some powerful religious or civic leader. Instead, he continues his ministry with people on the margins. He remains an itinerant rabbi, going from place to place, never settling down, and eventually being put to death because he so threatened the established power structures. And yet, knowing all that is to come, Jesus' choice in the desert, when he's offered all the power and all the glory, is to stay true to his calling. So finally, the devil tempts him with what sounds like just pure spite. If you really are who you say you are, says the devil, then throw yourself down on these rocks. God will take care of you, right? I know my first inclination would have been to say, I'll show you, and leap down from the parapet. I would have definitely wanted to prove myself, especially after being goaded and questioned about my identity. But that's not Jesus' choice. And of course, we all know that. We probably don't even imagine that Jesus could have made a different choice because we know this story, we know who Jesus is, and we know the devil cannot persuade him. Unfortunately, the devil isn't always so obvious in our own lives. We have had a long, hard journey in the desert the last couple of years, my friends. All of us, all over the world. That includes some things in church as well, as we struggle, as we figure out what's next, but that's true for all churches and all institutions as well. We've been tested and tried in so many different ways. It's become easy to blame bad things on a different political party or on people who believe differently from us. We look back longingly at the days before COVID and wonder, when is everything going to go back to normal? And here's a hard truth, friends. It won't. It won't. COVID has changed us. It's changed the world. It's changed our institutions, our values, our churches, and the way we do things. That doesn't mean things aren't good. It just means that things will not be the same. But then, things never are they? No. You ever go back to your hometown and kind of look around and go, not the place I thought it was. That happens to me a lot. Every time I go back, it seems my town gets smaller. And most especially the house where I grew up. It keeps getting smaller. Things change. Some of the things that have changed during COVID have taught us lessons about value and about how we value people. They've taught us lessons about how we take care of one another. Some of those things are good. It's not good that millions of people have died, but we have learned some things during this desert time. I know it's unsettling, but this time in the desert does have opportunities. We have the chance to rethink what matters about our lives and about our church. We have the chance to dream and to greet the next phase of our life together with excitement, with optimism. We just need to be careful to recognize the temptations when they come. The temptation to look for an easy fix, to get us back to where we used to be, or where we thought we were. The temptation to grab the power or the glory that we think the world is offering us, rather than staying close to our God and our faith, one another and our community. The temptation to show the world by testing God, rather than trusting God. I don't know about you, but the hardest thing in my spiritual life is trusting God. I want to be in control of things so badly. I want to believe I have control over things so badly. And the truth is I don't. None of us do. And that's where the trust comes in. As we continue to move forward as a faith community, as a church, we can take heart that even in the desert, God is with us, strengthening us and showing us the way. God did not abandon Jesus in the desert, and God does not